Fine. रुको
हाँ हाँ सही सही कर
रुको 1 मिनट ये डालने दो पहले इसके ऊपर डाल देना
A very warm welcome to you to the Kerava National Cricket Ground here in not so sunny Finland today. We have overcast conditions. It's just an audio test. We have not so sunny conditions today. There's a bit of clouds. There are some clouds around with a chance of a 90% rain today in the evening, starting at 6 o'clock sharp. 90% chance of rain. Yes, Gymkhana has won the toss and they have elected to bat first. As you can see on the scorecard here, which is already updated, as we are pretty sharp on this. One of these guys, 12th man. I'm still running the audio test, sorry.
So, what about the 30-second set? Are we going to be able to squeeze me in there?
In the back, probably somewhere.
Sure?
We have to.
So let's just do it.
We need a scorer from Gymkhana first because Gymkhana is batting first, right? Isn't it batting team? Batting team needs to put the scorer.
Normally, I think, yeah. The first game, so normally good at getting my pictures done.
Yeah, it's charging.
Have they done all this?
Yes.
Who needs to do the scoring?
Aye, aye.
We are the fielding side.
Well, it would need to be somebody from the batting side.
Yeah.
From the batters.
Batting side needs to bring the scorer, right?
Then we can
Mr.
just have a
Mr. Umpire.
Are you going to
Are
be
you-
doing it when you're batting?
Yeah, well,
We are still running an audio test on this
Are you-
side.
You're going to be doing it.
Arib, can you hear me? Arib, can you hear me? Arib, can you hear me?
Arib is there.
Yeah, but Arib,
can you hear me?
can you hear me? You can apparently hear me. So how are we supposed to communicate, Arib?
Arib doesn't have his walkie-talkie.
Arib, can you hear me? Thank you, Arib. Still going on with the audio test. The inaugural audio test. Gymkhana against FPC. You need the Zing bales. They're with Andy. The Zing bales are with Andy, my friend. We are still running an audio test. This is still a audio test. By the way, Umar Akhtar is playing. Pankaj is injured. And Umar Akhtar is playing. And 12th man will be scoring. So you wouldn't bother. Yeah, that's Manoj and the other guy. This is still an audio test. Still a audio test. He does have a number. He has number 14. I'm sorry. Sorry. I got it wrong. He's the scorer. 12th man is playing for. And he's got number 14, not number 3. This is still a audio test. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still audio test. We are 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes before the start of the 6th match here in the Finnish Premier League, coming to you live on the European Cricket Network from the Kerava Cricket Stadium in beautiful Finland. This stadium, I've been told, holds up to 25,000 viewers on a sunny day. Spectators, I should say. But due to COVID-19 and various other reasons, as you can probably see on the camera, 25,000 people won't be here today. We will probably have none because it looks really, really cloudy and not so bright. So we will see how the weather unfolds during the next couple of hours, and we just hope to get a full 2020 in, and we believe that we should do so. So I will leave you with Mr. Richard Savage as your lead commentator for tonight. You might have seen him play. He is the young gentleman with the solid front foot defense, and he will be taking over here on comms as soon as the match does commence. Thank you very much. Enjoy the game and speak to you soon.
And another warm-ish welcome to the Kerava National Cricket Ground in Finland for this 6th match of the Finnish Premier League this season. You may well have been with us last week and over the weekend. Well, tonight we're featuring for the first time the FPC, Finnish Pakistani club, in their first match of the Finnish T20 Premier League, and they're up against Helsinki Gymkhana, who played last week, losing to SKK. And the news from the middle is that the toss has been won by Helsinki Gymkhana, who have decided to bat on a decidedly damp and cool evening after the glorious weather of last week. Unfortunately, we're having a bit of a blip today, and there is a forecast of some possible rain to come later, and possibly even the threat of thunderstorms, but for now it is dry, if a little damp underfoot. And we're about to get underway. So the two batsmen for Helsinki Gymkhana make their way to the middle. There's still a slight delay here, waiting for some technical issue to be solved. So the two men in the middle will be Shahid Gondal, wearing number 3, and Irfan Yusufzai to open the batting. So Tariq Sarfraz looks like the man who's going to open the bowling for FPC. First delivery then, and we're underway. And there's the first runs. It perhaps might have gone on a drier day for a 4, but this straight dive up to long on is only going to garner 3. As it holds up in the wet turf on the outfield. So, Gymkhana underway. Three runs. So Tariq Sarfraz bowling from what we term the commentary end here at the Kerava National Cricket Ground. He's in the full delivery in a big swing and no run. So Gondal it is, who's the man off the mark on 3. Sarfraz again, wide of off stump, not taken cleanly by the keeper. First wicket down then. Gymkhana lose their first. Caught at short mid-wicket. Uppish delivery, fended into the onside. And so after that fleeting start, Gymkhana lose their first wicket. 3 for 1. So Faisal Shahzad is the next man in for Gymkhana, the captain. Irfan Yusufzai, the man who is out. He went for 0. Not scoring. Gandal, the man not out on 3. Sarfraz again then. Ooh, that was taken on the pad as he's stretching forward. So Khan is the next bowler to bowl the second over of this innings. 4 for 1, Helsinki Gymkhana. The captain, Bilal Khan, comes in, right arm over. This one steered down to third man. He's going to pick up a couple here. So skipper to skipper then. Bilal Khan, the FPC bowler, to Faisal Shahzad, who's just digging that one out. Khan turned into the offside now. They're going to pick up 2 here as the ball pulls up in the lush outfield. Khan then. Oh, he's bowled him. Gondal's gone, looking for the big one. Over long on, and head in the air that was, I'm afraid. He's cleaned him up. So second wicket falls for Gymkhana. Ten for 2 rather. Right, you rejoin us. Apologies for the short technical break. We seem to have got the scoring issues sorted. So we're into the end of the second over. 10 for 2, Helsinki Gymkhana, having won the toss and decided to bat. And Sarfraz is now going to bowl his second over and the third of this innings, as Faisal picks up certainly 2 here after a misfield. Third man. So 2 quick wickets gone. The men out, Gondal and Mohammed Irfan Yusuf. I apologise. Shahzad, the captain. 7 not out now. This one is a wide. I'm going to take a run off it as well. Simranjit this time, the man on strike, no run. That was his first delivery. The second one steered to short third man, and again no run. So just to recap, the 6th match of the Finnish Premier League, T20 Premier League of the season. You're very welcome to join us on what is a rarity at the moment around Europe, cricket, live cricket. But we're delighted to be on the ECN, the European Cricket Network, showing you at least something. It's a cloudy, slightly miserable evening. But I suppose we were blessed last week and over the weekend with some good weather. Sarfaraz then continuing, right arm over. This one just defended again. And still yet to get off the mark is Simranjit. 4 deliveries he's faced now. But consolidation the key at 14 for 2 after those 2 quick wickets. Again, just turning it into the onside in a defensive fashion. And there's no run. This reminds me of something. 14 for 2. Consolidating number 4 batsman. End of the 3rd over then. Khan will continue. Bilal Khan, that is. Number 3 on his back. He's the captain. Adil Khan in the side as well. I'll go through those teams for you in just a moment. The first ball is a swing and a miss. So Bilal Khan, Adil Khan, Akil Mohammed, Nadim Qureshi, Akib Qureshi, Wazim Qureshi, Tariq Sarfaraz, Ahmed Rais, Zishan Ahmad, Zari Jumba and Subhas Sadakat make up the FPC team. Another dot ball. And for Gymkhana, Faisal Shahzad, the man on strike at the moment, the captain Simranjit Brar. Pankaj Saharan is out for an injury. So he's replaced by the 12th man, Mohammed Azhar. And then it's Shahid Gondal, Jalil Ahmad, Mohammed Hassan, Mohammed Gawas, Irfan Yusufzai, Javed Jan, Kais Yusufzai and Ati Rahman for Gymkhana, playing their 2nd match of this Premier League season. This one should be runs, although well stopped, and he's sent back. Is Shahzad. Good stop at point. Full-length delivery kept out again watchfully by the skipper. Ooh, this one's uppish, but he's got it through the covers, and they'll probably turn for 2 here. That might have interested the fielder. Bit of bottom hand in it, but he gets away with it. And that's just wondering if there was one short there in the over. The umpires have signalled over, so that is the end of the 4th over. 16 for 2 Gymkhana. And Tariq Sarfaraz will continue to bowl over number 5, the penultimate one of this opening power play. This one's taken on the pad, looking to turn it into the onside, but looked optimistic even here. But there could be a shout of a run out, and he is given. And a bit of a lapse in concentration has led to another wicket there. And that is, well, a surprise. And he's not going to be happy there. The appeal was going on. It was turned down. The batsman had turned his back and somehow strayed out of his crease. And an underarm throw rolled in. Knocked the bails off. And I'm afraid he's gone. Subha Sadakat, the man who did the nifty piece of fielding. So that is the end of Simranjit Brar without scoring. So number one on his back then is Jalil Ahmad, the new batsman, coming in at 15 for 3. And he'll be facing after that rather mishap of a run out. He's off the mark immediately. They should pick up 2 here if they're running quickly. And he's coming around from fine leg. Bit of a fumble, and he easily get back for 2 more. And 17 for 3. Gymkhana having won the toss, to remind you. Big swing again. He's looking to get after Sarfraz, is the new batsman, already off the mark. Oh, this should be out, but no, it just dropped short. The fielder, Nadeem Qureshi, in the short mid-off position, and again very uppish, just sticking in the pitch. Perhaps it's a little slow after some rain, although there have been covers on it. This one is caught and bowled, and he's given. Stood there for a moment, perhaps unsure whether or not the bowler had taken it cleanly, but it looked good from here, and he's given. Caught and bowled then after a flashing start. That is the end of the batsman. Yusufzai. And the 4th wicket falls for Gymkhana. They're going at a bit of a clatter at the moment. 17 for 4. And I'm wondering if the ball is just sticking a little bit. Perhaps it's getting damp because of the wet outfield. And the shot before, which almost made it to the mid-off fielder. Similar shot played for the caught and bowled, and perhaps it just got stuck and he was through the shot a little early. Anyway, he's gone. And Bilal Khan will continue now for the start of the 6th over. There's a big shout for LBW. But not given. 17 for 4 then into the 6th over, the last over of the power play. A reminder that 2 fielders are allowed outside the inner fielding circle in these first 6 overs. Oh, big swing again, nothing on it. Hassan is the new batsman for Gymkhana. Mohammed Hassan, number 23. But it's Shazad who's facing, who's on 10. So the skipper stuck in a bit of a rut at the moment, 10 off 22. But not surprisingly, with wickets falling left, right and centre at the moment. 17 for 4, Gymkhana, another good delivery, just dug out. Bilal Khan now. So maiden over for the 6th one, and a great start for FPC. 17 for 4, Gymkhana, having won the toss and decided to bat. So Nadeem Qureshi going to be bowling the 7th over. Number 7 then, Nadeem Qureshi, appropriately to bowl over number 7. And it's Hassan on strike, still get off the mark. That's a short ball, poor delivery really to start with, and it's just helped on its way around the corner. That should be 4 runs unless it stops, which it does, in the wet outfield. And they pick up 3, but in truth, on a warmer day, that probably would have been and should have been 4. So Hassan moves on to 3 off his 4 deliveries. Shahzad back onto strike. And he picks up another single. Qureshi then again, straying onto onside, but it's short. It's a pretty poor delivery, but it's a pretty poor shot as well, and he's holed out to square leg. Looking to play a similar shot to one earlier in the innings where it was short and down leg side, and helping it on its way, but only to the square leg fielders. The 5th wicket then falls for Gymkhana, who are in all sorts of trouble, I think it's fair to say right now. 21 for 5. Hassan is the man who's gone. And the new batsman is Mohamed Gawas. Let's see what he can do. So in truth, it's not been the greatest over, but it has picked up a wicket for Nadeem Qureshi. Very gentle off spin. This one is a better length and line though. And the new batsman defends. They've got to get themselves out of a hole here. Have Gymkhana, or it's going to be over very soon. As we see number 4, mid-off warming up. Next ball is a dot, so perhaps he'll be next on to bowl. It'll be Adil Khan, having seen Bilal Khan bowl 3 first up. Oh, that's a good shot though. He's just waited on that one. And it's a lovely square cut, sounded nice as well. It's only going to pick up 1, unfortunately. But a good start for Gawas, that looks solid. Now Shahzad has dispensed with the helmet. But he's not going to face because it's the end of the over. So 7 gone. And 22 for 5, Gymkhana. Remember, having won the toss. So new bowler. Oh, that's a good delivery, and it's short. Outside off stump. Adil Khan, number 4 on his back, bowling this 8th over now. And there's a little bit more pace in that one. Shahzad continues without the helmet. So a few walking paces and then a very gentle trot up to the wicket. Nice action. Good strong arm. Well played. No run though. So end of the over. Adil Khan, decent over. 25 for 5. Bucharest is continuing into the 9th over now. And 32 for 5. They've steadied a little wobble, but there's still a long way to go for Gymkhana as they pick up a single now into the onside. There's Gawas Mohammed there. Moving on to 8. Okay, well, welcome back again after a rather enforced technical break. Adil Khan will continue. We're into the 10th over now, so getting to the halfway point. And they're going to pick up a single Gymkhana to add to what is a paltry score at the moment. 34 for 5, they make that. It's been slow going and a consistent fall of wickets, but Shahzad, the captain, is still there. He's 12 off 31, and we've got Mohamed Gawas, who's 9 off 10, but he's looking in good shape. Well, in fact, both of them are at the moment. And if they can stay here, there's still hope as they pick up another single. Shahzad batting now in a cap, having dispensed with the helmet earlier on. Still no sign of any more rain, thankfully, and none of the thunderstorms that were forecast as well. We'll keep our fingers crossed that we get a full game in tonight as Khan comes in. This very strong action of his, bowling nicely. Just short of a length outside off stump. That's cut to backward point, and they pick up another single. Now, these two were accomplished in their first match for Gymkhana last week. But they've got some rebuilding to do before they can launch an offensive to get them to a defendable target, because at the moment they're well behind the rate. They'll make around 81 if they go at the current run rate. Is this little nibble by Shahzad outside the off stump, carries to the keeper. But yeah, they might not be troubling 3 figures at this current run rate, but there is still time in this 2020 match to accelerate that run rate and try and at least aim for 3 figures. This one is again no run, and he's bowling well here, Khan. It'll be interesting to know if the conditions have slowed things down a little bit. A couple of shots perhaps you could say were the result of the ball perhaps not coming on as quickly as it might do on a drier day. Khan slightly short, outside off stump, no run. And that is the end of the 10th over. So the halfway mark then for Gymkhana, who won the toss, don't forget, and decided to bat. 36 for 3. Even I can work out that's a current run rate of 3.6, which is not perhaps what the doctor ordered, but then when you're 5 wickets down, that's what's going to happen. Shahzad 13 off 35 and Mohamed Gawas 10 off 11. Now Nadeem Qureshi will continue. He's into his 3rd over. It's a lovely shot, that is. Terrific square cut. They're going to come back for 2 because there's a slight fumble on the point boundary. But Gawas looking good here. He moves on to 12s. This one is a slow delivery. It's dug out into the onside for a single. And things have just upped slightly here, which is what Gymkhana need. But they're going to need to start finding the boundary rope regularly if they're going to post a score that's going to get close to 3 figures. Qureshi into his 3rd, 1 for 16 so far. This one is outside the off stump and no run. High looping delivery. Couldn't get anything on it that time, Gawas. And it's another dot ball. So what you feel we're missing out on some deliveries here. This one swung into the onside, but again, straight to the fielder, who's out at deep mid-wicket, and it's only a single. So again, another hittable delivery that he made good contact with, but didn't reap the rewards he perhaps might have done. End of the over, 40 for 5 then, and it's 11 gone. Shahzad then on 12, and Mohammed on 13. Change of bowling we've got then. Adil Khan has bowled 2 overs. He's coming off, despite a decent spell. The new bowler is Rais Ahmed. Who bowled the 12th with number 1 on his back. Tall figure. He races in and immediately is called for a wide outside the off stump. Here's Ahmed again, full toss. Clubbed up to extra cover. Oh, shy of stumps might have been interesting, but they got home. And again, you might feel that they've missed out again. It was a full toss. Again, they pick out the fielder. They're just not finding the gaps at the moment, despite looking in good touch. Driven back to the bowler, and again, no run. Gawas was on 13 off his 15. This partnership now worth 21, so that's half their runs. Gymkhana short delivery. This one is club. This is up in the air. Is it going to go over the head of mid-off? It does. They're going to get back for 2. I think the fielder slightly lost it for a moment because it looked like, for all the world, it was going to be caught. He's got away with that one. Again, the ball perhaps not coming on as quickly as it might do on a drier, warmer day. And a clubbing shot, really, that went straight. Not pretty, but he's got away with it. This one is a nice straight drive, though, and I think this might go between the 2 fielders, although it's going to hold up again in the long, wet grass. Once more, it'll just be 2 runs. But they're starting to accelerate a little bit now, these two, Shahzad and Mohammed in particular. Gawas 17 off 17. Here's Ahmed. Ooh, he's hitting on the pad here, looking to swing into the onside, but looked like to hit him outside the line. So nothing given. Final ball coming up then of Rais Ahmed's over, the 12th. Still a run rate that will get Gymkhana around the 80 mark at the moment. This is a lovely shot. Oh, straight at the fielder, though, who makes a hash of the catch. He really connected with it. I didn't realise it was quite straight at the extra cover fielder as it was, but he's fumbled it and he's allowed them to pick up 2. So again, another nicely middled shot. The placement, though, not quite what it should have been. A couple of metres to the left, and that would have been probably 4 runs. As it is, it's just the 2, but it ends the over. That's the 12th over gone. 47 for 5, Gymkhana. Gawas Mohammed 18 and Faisal Shahzad on 13. Right, Tariq Sarfraz then is going to bowl the next over. This will be his final over of his spell. And he goes for a single off that first one. Shahzad adds another to his tally. Apologise, Nadim Qureshi finishing off his spell here, not Starfraz. His figures so far, 1 for 18. Little chat between the batsmen as the man goes out to deep backward square leg. He's got a man on the point boundary, long on, long off, or long off is coming up actually now, as this one is driven towards long off, but to his left, and that's going to be 2 bounces for. That was a terrific shot, and he's been threatening to do that, Gawas. He's looking in fine form. He's got a good array of shots. And that's a welcome boundary. He just brought long off up into the ring. Just before that, I don't think, even from his original position, it would have been enough to cut that one off, because it was fairly wide of long off, and he hit it perfectly. Next one then from Qureshi turned into the onside, and another single. These two have really consolidated for Gymkhana and are going well. As the partnership now 32. 53 for 5, the score. Shahzad on strike now, the captain. He's happy to turn it into the onside, I think, and perhaps allow Gawas to play the bigger shots. This should give Gawas the strike. It does. Driven up to long on for a single by Shahzad. That's the end of the over though, so he will stay on strike. 13 gone, 54 for 5. Shahzad 15 off 42, Gawas Mohammed 23 off 22. Qureshi is bowled out then, his 4 overs finished. Decent little spell from the off spinner, 1 for 24. And we're going to see if Rais Ahmed is going to continue. He bowled the last over. He's just having the ball dried. Very wet conditions here. It's been raining most of the afternoon here in Kerava. But thankfully it's dry, at least from the sky at the moment, as Rais Ahmed does continue. Right arm over, short delivery, clubbed to mid-off. They're coming back for a second. That's good running, very good running. And Gawas Mohammed was very alert to that. He turned quickly, sharply, and came back. And since he's arrived at the crease, he's really upped their run rate and their busyness at the crease. Shahzad is on strike still. He has a big swing. Now this has gone well. He's hit this well. There is a fielder, 2 fielders interested. Long on and long off converging, hitting straight. Again, just for a single. It's a bit frustrating for him because he is playing some shots, but one feature of this Gymkhana innings has been the amount of times that they've picked out the fielders. And of course it doesn't help with the ball holding up on the slightly longish, wet outfield here at Kerava. But some welcome injection of pace now into the Gymkhana innings. So at this run rate, that projected score is raised a little bit now to around the 90, and the partnership worth 36 now. So Gawas with another nice shot into the offside, but again picking the fielder out directly. Full toss then to Shahzad. Just a single. Gauas driving nicely again, picking out the fielder. He hit it very well, but the man at extra cover only had to move a few paces to his left to field that one. It's one more single from a good shot. A little frustration perhaps at the amount of times they've picked out the fielders in this innings. But they're still there and they're going well at the moment. This one is a slower ball, just allows it to take him on the pad, does Shahzad, and it creeps out into the onside. I'm entirely sure there was a shot played there, but umpire signals leg by. And that is the end of the 14th over. 61 for 5 then. Despite his premature reintroduction earlier, Tariq Sarfraz is coming back into the attack now, number 10 on his back to bowl this 15th over. His final over of his 4. This one's clubbed into the onside. I don't think this is going to make the boundary rope again, but they're pushing hard for 3 because there's a chase for the fielder. There's nobody out on that deep mid-wicket boundary, and they do get back easily enough for 3. Which takes Shahzad now on to 22 from his 47, brings Gauas Mohammed back on strike. He's the one of the 2 who's wearing the helmet. Shahzad in cap. As the field changes, long on, long off, come in. Perhaps a signal to Shahzad not quite finding the gaps in this innings. This one is up in the air towards deep extra cover. Who has to come in off the rope, but it falls short. Again, it's just a single. So the intention appears to be there. He's not quite finding the middle of the back, Shahzad, nor space in the outfield. Sorry, that was Mohammed. I do apologise. This is Shahzad. He drives up to mid-off. Again, uppishly. And again, a single. Full toss, driven straight, and because of those 2 long on, long off fielders up in the ring, mid on and mid off, that evades both of them, and that is a welcome boundary for Gymkhana. Well hit by Gauas, full toss. And while I think perhaps the tactic of having the 2 men up in the ring for Shahzad was perhaps worthwhile, not so much for Gauas, who's hitting a clean ball this evening. He moves on to 30 from 26. And the projected score, going by run rate now, is into 3 figures. Oh, this is a big shot now. Where has this gone? It's gone over the head of the man who's running around from wide mid-on. So once again, had the fielders been out there in the usual long-on, long-off position, which you'd expect in a T20 match, that might have been down their throat. But as it is, they pick up 2 more. They perhaps might want to rethink their field position, I think. This one's going to go the same place, but it's chipped and not middled. And this time, oh, 4th attempt, he drops it. And having written off the field placement, that was absolutely perfection. Field placing goes. Unfortunately, the execution was rather calamitous, and he had 3 or 4 bites of the cherry, and it slipped out, and the batsman survives. So, bit of fun at the end of the 15th over. 73 for 5. Gauas Mohammed 33. Shahzad on 23. 73 for 5. Jerry Junba is the new bowler. He's going to come in for his first over of the evening. Number 8 on his back. Took him a while to get over here, but he got the call. And he's into action. And he's going to be bowling to the dangerous Gawas Mohammed, who's 33 off 28 and hitting the ball cleanly this evening. And looking dangerous. So, a couple of paces for the bowler, who starts, then stops, and will start again. Man being brought in from fine leg into the ring, it seems. This one is hit over the head of extra cover. The man comes in off the cover boundary, and that's just a single. Unusual action here from the new bowler, Jerry Junba. Yeah, that one is a full toss. That's turned into the onside. They should push for 2. The field is a bit slow coming round to field it off the deep square leg boundary. The throw's decent though, and they get back for 2. Another single. The scoreboard ticking over nicely now for these two. It's been an excellent partnership of 56 now. It's got away from me actually. I didn't mark the 50 partnership at the time because they were going so well. But they've brought Gymkhana back into this, right back into the game. This one is huge, looping delivery, very slow. Pulled out into the onside for one more single. He's bowled him. Well, after all that, slow looping delivery has got through the defences of Shahzad. It was a bit of a, not a very straight batted shot, but he's finally gone. The captain, he's been there a long time from the very start. He's gone for 26. And it was off quite a lot of deliveries. I'll tell you how many in a moment, but 47 deliveries. So took his time, but then he had a lot of consolidation and rebuilding to get through, did Shahzad, after that early collapse of wickets. So now it's going to be up to Gawas, who's looked the far more fluent of the two, and very dangerous to try and continue this push towards 3 figures if they can. The new batsman looks like Javed Jan, it is, who's come in. 149, although he's only got 2 of those. No, he has got 149 on his back. I apologise. Right then. Final ball of this over. And just prodded into the onside for a quick single. And he'll keep the strike, will the new batsman, Javed Jan, which was probably not what they wanted, because Gawas needs to be the man on strike for these final overs, really, one suspects. 4 of them left. 79 for 6. So Adil Khan is going to return, having bowled 2 overs previously. He's back for the 17th. He's got long on and long off out now, and he's got a man on the cover boundary and a man on the deep square leg boundary as he's in. This is a quicker ball, but it's a wide. So 0 for 6 after his first 2 overs. Khan. 0 for 7 now, of course. Ooh, quick single they've taken. Misfield, but Gawas is told to stay where he is, probably quite rightly, the man in form at the moment, 35 off 30. And he's going to have to be the one to keep the pace going for the remainder of this innings for Gymkhana. Khan it is then, just short of a length. Not much he could do with that, Mohammed. He's looking for one in the slot, I think. Although he has tended to favour the offside in this innings. He's got a lovely square cut and drives well through extra cover. It's always an advantage if you favour that here when you're only facing from one end. Oh, he's bowled! And he did go for a big swing, looking for the straight drive, or straight hoik, one might call it. So I've teed him up and failed him again, I'm afraid. But it's a good innings. It's been a terrific knock. He got them back into this, did Mohammed. And if they go on to post a competitive total here, then it'll be mainly thanks to him. But he falls now. Gawas Mohammed, bowled by Khan, 35 off 32 deliveries. So new batsman is Mohammed Azhar, who's slated to be the 12th man here, but has come in because of an injury. And he's sent back, having looked for a quick run. If this hits, he's gone. No. So a jittery little start, wearing number 3. Although he was down to wear number 14. Khan, then it is to the new batsman. Oh, he's beaten there. And the zing bails, which light up when they are hit. Light up as the keeper throws the ball back at the stumps. They're quite visible now, the zing bails, in this murky evening. 81 for 7. The end of the 17th over now. Khan. 1 for 8, his figures. So he's been very economical this evening. So Jabid Jan. No, it's not, I apologise. This is Azhar Mohammed, the man with the mixed up numbers, preparing to face short delivery. That one is scooped over what would be the slip cordon, and it's going to race away to third man for 4 runs. So not a convincing shot, a bit of an edge, but it looped over the cordon for 4, and Khan gets a little bit of pace on the ball, so that raced away, and that is a sport. He's over at the end there, somewhat sadly, but nonetheless still doing well. 3 overs, 1 for 12, 85 for 6 with 17 overs gone. It looks like Jumba is going to continue. Whose first over went for 6. He picked up a wicket though. And he has the customary long on, long off in place, and a cover boundary rider as he comes in. Slow delivery, pulled into the onside. That should make the fence. No, it's not. It's picked up just inside the rope by the fielder, and they go through for 2. Full toss this time does go for 4. It was a very slow looping delivery, and not much more the batsman had to do but just help it on its way, really. He had all the time in the world, did Javed Abdul Latif, Javed Jan. And this is looking respectable now for Gymkhana. 91 for 7. Don't forget, they were in all sorts of trouble at 20 odd for 5. This one is clubbed back past the bowler. They'll look for 2 because, well, they won't look for 2. They're slightly slow coming in off the boundary as long off fielder, and actually, given the throw, 2 would have been easily achievable. But as it is, Azam Mohammed will stay on strike. He's on 4. Jumbar then. That is a nice little club into the onside. That's going to pick up 2, certainly, as the long arm fielder trots around to field. And they're starting to find a few more gaps now, the Gymkhana batsmen, having been struggling a little bit to find the open spaces around the Kerava National Cricket Ground this afternoon, or this evening. This one again swung into the onside. This could go all the way. It might plug in the deep grass though, and I think it has. So, another 2 runs. Again, on a warmer day, that probably would have raced down to the boundary. But again, you've got to put the pace on the ball because this guy, Jumbar, bowling very slowly. So you've got to... Got to do the work yourself, I'm afraid, as this one is chipped up in the air towards mid-on. He was a bit slow getting to the ball. Could have been a caught chance, to be honest, and the shy at the stumps came rather belatedly. The batsmen are safely home. It's all happening out there. 97 for 7, Gymkhana, which is something you wouldn't perhaps have expected to hear 10, 12 overs ago. They're 18 overs gone. And 100 on for sure now, when they were desperately struggling earlier on. 5 very early wickets until that partnership between Shahzad and Gawis Mohammed. So we have Bilal Khan coming back now for the 19th over. Oh, could be a run out here, and there is. Great sharp fielding there, and pushing their luck perhaps once too often there, Gymkhana, in search of this 3 figures. They've finally perished. And it's a smart bit of fielding. And they lose their 6th wicket, 7th wicket now, Gymkhana. 97 for 7 in the 19th over.
Yeah, exactly.
They lose their 6th wicket, 7th wicket now. Raymond is the new batsman. He's on strike to Bilal Khan. He gets a full toss and he's driven that nicely up towards long on. They should push for 2. They're not going to though, as the fielder comes in. Well, that was Javed Jan who struck that ball, and Ati Rahman is now on strike, the new batsman. Colourful gloves, defends that first one. Next delivery is a single. 99 for 8, Gymkhana. Always bold. 99 for 9 then, all the 9s. And a slower delivery. He swung through that one way too early. Did the batsman, and he falls the 9th down in this 19th over. So one more to come. Are they going to see out their 20 overs? It's been a tale of stop, start, really, for Gymkhana. So it'll be Kais Yusufzai, the new batsman. So after Raymond and the new man to the crease, Kais Yusufzai, the two men who've got to get Gymkhana through this remaining over and a ball. This is the last delivery of the 19th over, 99 for 9. And it's a dot ball, it'll stay 99 for 9 after 19 overs. So final over then, and it'll be Adil Khan bowling it. The first delivery is a dot, and they remain stuck on 99 for 9. Gymkhana. Raymond, the man on strike in the maroon helmet. Again, this one is, well, they've made the 100 with the wide, so there we go. 3 figures up. And that's something that perhaps they weren't expecting earlier in the innings, so it's a good effort to have got there. They've got at least post a defendable target now. Khan to Raymond, who'll be doing a bit of bowling himself in the not too distant future. He just tickles that into the on. Oh no, it was leg by, it came off the pad, so no single to Raymond, but one more to the total. 101 for 9. Good running, and there could be overthrows as well, so just shows you a little bit of extra pressure on the fielder. Taking a quick run can often result in that, so what should have been 1 was 2. Yusufzai on strike. Slower delivery, and it's deceived the batsman. Again, threw the shot too quickly. Another dot ball. Should be 2 left in the over. That's a nice shot, that really is. That's going to make the boundary, I think, despite the attentions of the cover fielder. He really did get hold of that one. Did Kais Yusufzai. Nice sound off the bat, and he picked his spot perfectly. A nice little boundary to end. Well, not quite to end, got 1 ball left. He just used the pace of the delivery from Khan there. He picked a spot, cleared his front leg, swung through it, and got the result. Final ball then of this Gymkhana over. It's a quick delivery, beats the batsman. They're going to run, although they're not. They're just given up, frankly, and that's the end of that. All out then on the final ball for 107. Helsinki Gymkhana, having been in all sorts of trouble earlier on. 14 for 2, 20 odd for 4, 30 something for 5. Gawas and Faisal Shahzad's partnership of over 50 was the one that rescued things for them and brought them into a position of respectability, and a nice little flurry at the end for Gymkhana got them past the 3-figure mark. So it should be a target of 108 for FPC to chase when we resume here at the Kerava National Cricket Ground in around 10 minutes' time or so. Oh, welcome back to the Kerava National Cricket Ground in Finland. We're about to start the FPC reply then to the Gymkhana innings, which the target will be 108, which is an awful lot more than perhaps was expected when they were struggling in the 30s with 5 wickets down. But it's defendable, at least, on an evening where it's cool, cloudy and damp in the outfield. The ball hasn't been running across the outfield here quite as quickly as it would do on a warmer day. So Ati Raymond, as expected, will open the bowling for Gymkhana. The 2 men at the crease, number 9, Aqib Qureshi. And Bilal Khan, the captain. It'll be Qureshi to face the first ball from Raymond when we finally get underway. Reminder then, target 108, power play, the first 6 overs, 2 fielders allowed outside the inner fielding ring. And Gymkhana looking for their first win. This is their second game of the Finnish T20 Premier League so far. The first one they lost to SKK here at Kerava last week. And this is FPC's first match of the T20 Premier League. So, Qureshi it will be on strike. It's a Wasim Qureshi this is, I apologise. Not Aqib Qureshi. Or it is Aqib Qureshi. No, it's Wasim Qureshi. We'll get there in the end, but the numbers seem to have swapped around. So anyway, Ati Raymond, we know that will be bowling the first delivery, and it taken on the pad. As it got back to it, the keeper has dropped it anyway. Big appeal, and no movement from the umpire. So a bit of excitement, but not much coming from it. Here's Raymond again. This one is swung into the offside over the head of the fielders in the inner ring. This won't go away again. It'll get stuck in the longer grass out in the outfield. A bit of tag fielding. They come back for 2. And Qureshi's off the mark then. Raymond again, full length delivery, just dug out and pushed up to the man at short mid on for a single. Qureshi then, Wasim Qureshi, who appears to be wearing Aqib Qureshi's jersey, hence the confusion, for which we apologise, but he's on 3 now from 4 deliveries. Bilal Khan yet to get off the mark, the skipper. He's yet to face a ball, in fact, as he prepares to do so now and gets off the mark with a big swing, which races away to short backward square leg and trundles over the rope eventually for the first boundary. So, with a cross-batted swipe at that one, but effective in the power play overs, because so far the 2 fielders that are out, well, one on that leg side boundary was far too wide to cut it off. He's more at a square mid-wicket, and then we have a long off, very straight long off, but those are the only 2 out there. So a good start to this reply then for FPC. Is Raymond. Oh, looping delivery. It dies on the batsman a little bit. He manages to bowl that ball very well, does Raymond. Comes out the hand fairly quickly, but it perhaps a little bit of loop on the ball. It dies. It beat the batsman. End of the over then. First over gone down in this reply. Right, Faisal Shahzad then, the skipper, will bowl this second over. A slight delay now for something or other. Right, we're back underway. Shahzad then, the second over. Coming in right arm over. Turned into the onside for a single. Not a single, no, sorry, dot ball. They don't take a run to that first delivery. Here's Shahzad then. That's a nice clip into the onside. That could go for 4. The fielder, rather, deep mid-wicket, does run round to his right to cut it off. And they pick up 2. Qureshi moves on to 5. Shahzad brings in the man who was long off up into the ring. He's moved his deep mid-wicket fielder around to deep square leg and posted another one squarer on the onside. So that's 2 boundary riders on that onside fence. One at slightly backward square leg and another one very square. Shahzad in again. Short ball. This one clubbed. Lovely shot. Lovely sound off the bat. That's going to go away for 4. Over the covers. And Qureshi moving along apace here. 9 off 7. And he really did get hold of that one. It sat up for him nicely. But good bat speed. Stuttering run then from Shahzad. This is a fuller ball, and again it's gone the same direction. This should race away over to the boundary rope in the same place on that cover boundary. Not quite as timed as the previous shot, but nonetheless the result is exactly the same. So successive boundaries for Qureshi, who's raced on to 13 already in this, the second over. 17 without loss. Finn pack, FPC, chasing 108. He's now posted a man on that cover boundary and taken one off the onside. He looks for the offside again though, but straight to the cover fielder. No run. Slower ball this time from Shahzad, beats the batsman who was through the shot a little too early. That's the end of the second over, and a great start then for FPC. 17 without loss. Raymond's first delivery, clubbed over long on, and goes away for 4 again. So terrific start for FPC. Qureshi on 13, and Khan that time moves on to 8 from just 3 balls. Steps away to leg, and Raymond sees him, fires it wide of the off stump. So a welcome respite then for Gymkhana, whose start to their innings was quite in contrast to this by FPC. Slow start from Gymkhana and a lot of early wickets, but FPC out of the blocks quickly. This one is a full-length delivery, but it's gone up in the air. Big swing. There's a fielder under it, but he's lost it completely, and they're going to come back for 2. So it looked like, for all the world, again, that was going to be a catch, but that fielder now, for his sins, is going to be replaced by the captain at mid-off. And Raymond might feel he's missed out on a wicket there. Next one, straight drive. This is going to interest the fielder at mid-on, but again, it falls just short. So Khan throwing everything at the ball at the moment. And Raymond in his second over, gone for 13 already. Usually very tight. Quite a dangerous bowler. He does mix it up a bit. Quite a lot of variety. But he's taking a little bit of punishment this evening as he comes in off a slight angle. This one, the batsman is stepping down the pitch to. Driving pleasantly in the end, rather on one knee, but it finds the fielder in the inner ring at cover. A sloppy throwback, which the bowler won't thank their fielders for on a wet evening. .23 without loss, swing and a miss. That should be the end of the third. 23 without loss. Then FPC chasing 108. Shahzad then, first ball of his second over, is driven up to mid-off for a single. By Qureshi, who's on 10. Both the opening batsmen here, their strike rates over 100, which reflects the aggressive start they've made. And again, another aggressive shot. This should make the boundary. It's going to bisect those two fielders out on the deep onside boundary for another 4 runs. And despite posting those two out there, the pace with which the ball was hit meant it beat them both. A couple of bounces, and neither had to move much, really. But very much this is their style, FPC. See it, hit it. Not a bad tactic. Slower delivery down the leg side. That should, I was going to say should be called a wide, but it probably tickled the pad, hence the umpire's reluctance to raise his arms. So a welcome dot ball. $80 to win off 99 balls. Huge shot now, miles up in the air, but the fielder's taking this one. And that's a welcome sight for the Gymkhana fielders. Somebody running in off the boundary and taking the catch, because they've missed out on a couple. And the first one falls. It's Jalil Ahmed who took the catch there. And the first wicket down for FPC. Off the bowling of Shahzad. So Bilal Khan, the skipper, was the man to fall for 14. And the batsman crossed, so it'll be Qureshi on strike again. Mohamed Akil is the new batsman at the non-striker's end. And Shahzad in again. That one is a back of the hand delivery, pushed into the onside. They're going to take a single, and well run. Mohamed Akil onto strike, the keeper, vice-captain, for his first delivery, which will be the final one of Shahzad's second over, this 4th over. A little clip into the onside short mid-wicket will field, no run, end of the over then, 4 gone, and 29 for 1 FPC. In reply to that 107 all out from Gymkhana, who earlier in the day won the toss and decided to bat first. And did very well indeed to get past the 100 mark after a very shaky start. And Raymond will continue. Into his 3rd over now. Qureshi, 15 off 12, the man on strike. Oh, he's hit on the pad, half-hearted appeal, more so perhaps from the behind the stumps than the bowler himself. That looked a bit high. $29 for 1. Here he is again, Raymond off that angled, slanted, short run. He's firing that one into the toes of the batsman, who just defends for no run. Still only the 2 fielders allowed out, of course. in this 5th over. Nice little nudge into the offside, gets them a single. And despite hitting some lusty blows for boundaries, they are picking up some useful ones in the process as well, our FPC. Now then, Mohamed Akil, who's yet to get off the mark, is on strike. No slip in place. Man on the cover boundary, the man at deep square leg. As he's guiding that to short backward point for a single. And again, another run keeps the scoreboard ticking over. 108 the target. Shorter ball chopped into the offside. Bit of a messy piece of fielding, but there's no run. And the final ball to Raymond's over is a dot ball. So a slightly more subdued over then for FPC then. That 5th one, but still 31 for 1, so they're well up with the rate. 77 needed from 90 balls. So they've got plenty of time in which to do this, having got off to a good start. Shazad, the captain, will continue. And Mohamed Akil will be on strike, as we enter the final over of the power play. Still the cover boundary rider and the man at deep square leg, the 2 men outside the fielding ring. Oh, very slow off the mark, the non-striker. He was called quickly by the batsman, and he was still stood there with his hand on his hip. And the batsman had to scurry back into his ground, so a missed opportunity there. Similar shot, this one prodding into the offside. No run this time and no attempt to make a run. That's the thing with a good start, you can afford a few dot balls here and there. This one is just chopped backwards of square on the offside. Again, sent back, the batsman looking very much for that quick run, but the non-striker Qureshi perhaps not fancying it too much tonight. Quite content to have a little breather. Once more, another dot ball. This is a clip off the toes by the batsman, but that fielder at deep square leg is not troubled too much, and they pick up a single. 32 for 1, Qureshi 16, Akil 2. Qureshi it is to face the final ball of this power play, the 6th over. Which he connects with nicely, cutting it into the offside. There is that fielder out on the cover boundary though, and again it's just a single. So end of the over. 6 overs gone, 33 for 1, FPC chasing 108. The power play is finished, so now the field will spread as one of the batsmen requests a change of bat. And we will now watch to see what Shahzad, the skipper, does with his field. Raymond will continue and bowl out his spell, it seems. His fourth and final over. And just looking, there only appears to be 3 outside that ring at the moment. One at sort of wideish, long on. That man on deep square leg boundary, and the cover boundary rider is Atty Raymond's first delivery is called wide. So he's opting to keep the field tight for now. But they are ahead of the run rate, FPC, so that's no doubt the thinking behind that. Try and keep catches in place in that inner ring. Square cut straight to point. And if you can build a bit of pressure, then wickets can tumble, as can the run rate. So that'll be what Shahzad's thinking perhaps is here, as he himself drops out of the circle at deep mid-off. FPC content with another single. Qureshi adding one more to his 18. Off 20 now, 35 for 1. Ooh, that beats him. That's a terrific delivery. It bounced off a good length. The batsman, to be fair, was quite low in his stance and sort of wristily flirting with that one. And again, beats him outside the off stump, looking for the square cut. Very much favouring the offside at the moment. Akil, whereas Qureshi has been targeting the onside much more. 2 left of Raymond's spell. This one's chopped back almost onto the stumps behind to the keeper for no run. So a good end this is to Raymond's spell. He's gone for 17 so far with 1 ball left of his 4 over spell. And he ends with a caught and bowled, so he's picked up his first wicket with the final delivery of his 4 over spell, and he's probably deserved that one actually. He has bowled well again, and the batsman just trying to chip that into the onside. Got a bit of a leading edge and caught by Atty Raymond. So the second FPC wicket falls. So Akil, the man to go, 2 runs to his name off 11 deliveries, caught and bowled by Raymond. Second down for FPC in chase of 108, 35 for 2, 7 overs gone. Shahzad will continue as well, so he will bowl out his spell. As a new batsman comes to the crease, he'll not be facing. Instead it'll be Qureshi, the other Qureshi, Wasim Qureshi, wearing Adil Qureshi's we've got Wasim Qureshi wearing Aqib Qureshi's jersey with the other Qureshi, Nadeem, at the non-striker's end. So there you go. If you're wondering why I'm confused sometimes, forgive me. But we have Wasim Qureshi on 18 now. He's going to face Shahzad into his final over. And he treats that first delivery with respect. Good straight hit over the head of mid-off. It might not run away going down the hill, but the outfield is quite slow here. And the fielder does cut it off. Ati Raymond, who bowls the ball back in. And they get a couple. So Wazim Kresh on to 20. 37 for 2. 71 needed. Now off 76 balls, so we're getting close to a runner ball. Last couple of overs have done a good job in pulling back that required run rate. Just keeping things a little bit quieter. Shazad persisting with only 3 outside the ring at the moment. This one is a length ball, which the fielder at cover dives over, and they allow themselves to pick up a single. So we've got just a man just outside the ring at deep mid-on. We've got a deep square leg, and we've got a deep cover boundary fielder. And that, as far as I can tell, is the only 3 outside the ring. 5 permitted, of course. But wickets they need. Gymkhana really. Full toss. Just steered to backward point, and the fielder jumps over it, and it runs away for 4. Extraordinary piece of fielding there. So he's away. It's Nadim Qureshi. First ball goes for a boundary, thanks to some rather ineffectual fielding, it has to be said. He's got the yellow cricket boots on, which are not the things to draw attention to yourself with, I wouldn't think, if you're going to field like that one, as this ball is called a wide outside off stump. .43 for 2 then. Shazad 2 balls left of his spell. That's a good ball. Slower delivery, just making the batsman wait and hesitate a little bit. Nadim Qureshi with a very bright pair of pink gloves. Easily visible on what's still a very cloudy and murky evening. So the light isn't that bad actually. The cloud is fairly high. So Shazad's spell coming to an end with a dot ball. And the end of the 8th over. And 43 for 2 FPC on target for 108. But the quick start they got off to has been pegged back somewhat. But nonetheless they are still up with the rate and should still be favourites from this point. So new bowler then is Mohamed Gawas, number 34. He'll be bowling this 9th over, and he was the one really that's put his team in this position, in that position being one of being able to defend the target, because he came in when Gymkhana were in all sorts of trouble and knocked a good 30 odd, and he starts off well with a dot ball. 35 he made off 32 in the Gymkhana innings, with some very accomplished batting. He looked very good. He fell to a ball he was trying to launch back to Helsinki, but nonetheless he'd done the bulk of his job by that stage anyways. His second delivery is again a good length, good line, and it's only defendable. So 2 dot balls starting this over, and Gymkhana bringing things back a little bit here, slowing the run rate down a touch. 65 to win off 70, FPC's target. That one beats the batsman again for pace perhaps. Slow on the shot. And you feel that he's a key figure now, Gawas, in this match, having set it up with that innings. And now a role to play in the middle overs. And one more, once more, it's a swing and a miss. Shorter delivery though, that's given a bit of width and a bit of tap as the fielder slips out in the deep. Manages to keep his feet though, thankfully, or else that could have been rather embarrassing. Just a single. That just shows you on a wet evening that perhaps wearing trainers is not the best policy out there. This one is guided nicely. Will that fielder at deep backward point get there? No, he won't. That's well placed. And a nice shot from Nadim Qureshi. Was that Wazim? That was Nadim. It was one of the Qureshis, I can tell you that. Anyway, 9 overs gone, 48 for 2. So closing in on the halfway mark of the target, around the halfway mark of the innings. And I'd say they're still on course fairly comfortably at the moment. FPC 48 for 2. Run rate is 5.33. Required rate 5.45, so they're bang on target. And we have Javed Jan now to bowl his first over with number 149 on his back. I've yet to see a cricket shirt since numbers were introduced to the game not so long ago, but I've yet to see one with 4 figures on. I'm not sure they'd fit those in. 149 is about the highest I reckon I've ever seen. Anyway, a bit of a round arm action. This dug out into the offside for a single. Yeah, somebody's just pointed out Chris Gale was 333. So, I mean, I was talking in the lower reaches of the cricketing world. But that marks, wasn't it, his triple century score, I think. Perhaps this means that Jan has top scored with 149. Entirely possible. 2 away, and I'd say he was a snooker fan, but not quite. Call for a quick run. It's gone straight to the fielder, and a poor throw. He might have been struggling there, like Wazim, who's a bit slow off the mark, and he's down on his haunches now. And that's taken a bit out of him. Anyway, the 50 is up for FPC. Good start this one from Javed. Just 2 off the over so far. 1 dot, 1 dot. And Wazim Qureshi, 23 off 30. His strike rate was somewhat over 100, but it's dipped a little bit of late. He was certainly looking to swing the willow at anything earlier on. Perhaps a few quick singles are taking their toll now. As Javed comes in again, shorter delivery but very low action, so the ball doesn't bounce too much, and the batsman is sent back. Again, a sloppy throw back to the bowler, but they get away with it. 10 overs gone then, exact halfway point, and FPC then chasing 108 are 50 for 2 with the Qureshis at the crease. Wasim 23 and Nadim on 9. Right, Gawas then is going to continue. And he bowls him. Well, his mark on the match continues. Does Gawas Mohammed. He scored a very useful 35 off 32 in the first innings when his team were in all sorts of trouble. And he's come on now. And he's 1 for 5, taken 1 for 5 after just 7 deliveries. And that's the end of Nadim Qureshi then, who didn't last as long as his brother Wasim. And Nadim falls for 9 off 7 deliveries. And it's 50 for 3. Slight start perhaps of a stutter then in this FPC reply, having got off to a very good start. Chasing 108. And we've got Zishan Ahmad coming in at number 5. And Gawas, as I say, is becoming increasingly influential on this game. He's into his 2nd over. And Zishan it will be to face. So maybe a few nerves around the FPC contingent at the moment. They were well on course, but things are slowing down a little bit. He's taken high on the pad. I don't think this will be given. There's a mix-up, though, and there could be a run-out. He does get back, the non-striker. But you feel now FPC slightly rattled somewhat. I think the shout for LBW was highly optimistic. It was very high, but as always with these things, well, teams are busy appealing. Batsmen can get confused, decide to pinch a quick run, and then in the end end up causing calamity themselves. But anyway, all is well for FPC, 50 for 3. Big swing from Zishan, just waiting on the ball, playing it late. That squirts out into the offside and he gets off the mark. So the scorecard so far: Wasim Qureshi not out 23, Bilal Khan was out for 14, Mohammed Akil made 2, and Nadim Qureshi, the last man out, bowled by Gawas for 9 as the next ball is just swung into the onside. Again, a little mix-up and some mixed-up calling among the fielding side as well. So a little touch of panic just creeping into the proceedings now, which always makes for fun. Here's Gawas. Defended, but they take a quick run nonetheless, and that was more like it. (52 for 3). Coming to the end of the 11th. Gawas 1 for 7 so far. Coming to the end of his 2nd over. And another good delivery. Nothing the batsman can do. They just get a bat on it. And that completes the 11th over then. 52 for 3. 108 the target. So, Wasim then. Qureshi. Oh, big heave onto the onside. This could make it all the way. It doesn't in the end. The mid-wicket boundary rider comes round to cut it off. It was a bit of a uncultured cross-bat swing, if you'll forgive me, but it was effective. And I certainly think that Wasim Qureshi's tactic is to probably run as few singles as possible. Javid Jan is continuing. He's into his second over. That one's short and wide, outside off stump, called a wide. He's got hold of that. It's heading towards the deep point fielder, but falls short. One more single. 2 men out on that cover boundary. One at backward point, one at extra cover. We've got a deep square leg and a long on, long off out now. So the requisite, or the maximum permitted 5 fielders outside the ring now. Slower delivery, mistimed shot, but it lands safely into no man's land. There's no fielder between long on and the stumps. One more single. And while that run rate has slowed down, as long as the singles keep coming, 51 off 51 required now. They'll still be well in business, FPC. This one is a shorter delivery, clubbed into the offside rather, to that cover fielder on the boundary. Again, it's just a single, so 50 off 50 required now, which is nice and symmetrical. 58 for 3. And Gymkhana have just posted a man in at very short extra cover to try and cut off some of those singles, and he does the job perfectly on that occasion. Just a few too many perhaps stolen in that area. Big swing and a miss. And I think underrated fielding position in this form of the game is a short extra cover. There's so many singles pinched in that ring on the offside as the 12th over ends. And FPC of 58 for 3. 108 the target, so 50 more exactly needed. The required run rate now has crept up over 6, so it's still easily manageable. But there is a growing divide now between the required rate and the current run rate. Jalil Ahmed to come on and bowl. So Zishan Ahmed and Wasim Qureshi batting. Jalil Ahmed and Javid Jan, the bowlers currently in rotation. We'll see a bit of off spin from Jalil Ahmed now. As they just play with their field a bit. Man on the deep cover boundary is the only person on that offside rope. And long on, long off, deep mid-wicket, deep square leg. Ooh, that one is just clipped very fine. A little paddle really, or guiding shot down to deep third man. There is no fielder, plenty of green space, and they go back for 2 easy runs. Just opening the face of the bat, and although it was actually It was a bye, I believe, so he must have. There's a slight angle here, not quite behind the bowler's arm, so it's sometimes difficult to tell, but the umpire seems to have called byes there. Nonetheless, 2 more to the score for FPC, which is all that matters from their point of view, of course. 60 for 3. This one driven uppishly into the offside. Only a single. .47 required off 46, so for once the ball's dropped below the runs required. Short delivery. I was going to say a poor delivery, but it beat the batsman who pulled out of the shot, really. There's an appeal for a stumping. And as all wicket keepers tend to suggest, it's a travesty it wasn't given. But a quicker, sharper, flatter delivery that time from Ahmed, who is bowling to his namesake, but Zishan Ahmed. And that one keeps very low. He went back to try and chop it into the offside, but it's rather taken by surprise at how low the ball kept. No run. Single into the onside. Brings Wasim Qureshi back onto strike. He's faced 39 deliveries now for his 29. And he's just very cleverly guided that down to the backward point boundary for 4 runs. It was a nice little shot, wristy flick really, outside the off stump. He got enough on it to pick up another boundary. 33 he moves to now, 66 for 3. And that is the end of the 13th over. Target run rate exactly 6 now. So they're easily on course, FPC, and no great scares yet in this, no great clatter of wickets like in the Gymkhana innings. And they needn't do anything rash yet. So 14th over to be bowled by Gowis. They need something from him now. 1 for 7 off his first 2. Oh, he's bowled him again, and the Zing bails light up. It was a Yorker, and he played all round it, really, did the batsman Zishan Ahmed. And he departs for 3 off 10 deliveries. So he didn't quite get going. And again, Gawas exercises his influence over this match. He's 36 for Gymkhana to rescue them at from a perilous position in the first innings. He's now come on in these middle overs, kept it tight and picked up vital wickets. 2 for 7 now. There's a couple more and you might start to get a little bit nervous. Now this is an interesting sight, something I haven't seen since probably the late 80s. Is a batsman with a helmet but with no grill. Images of Gower and Gooch and Dennis Lilly coming out. Gavaskar as well used to wear a helmet with no grill before they became the norm. Anyway, the new batsman is Sarfraz, and he's got some natty pink gloves on as well, and he's facing a first delivery which almost yorks him. He gets a bit of an inside edge to Chinese cut this down to third man, they'd refuse a second when that was probably on, since the new batsman was the man running on to strike. Oh, he slipped, I'm told. I didn't quite pick that up, which is a shame because it should have been an easy 2. Qureshi on strike. He just drops the bat on that and they run through for a quick single. .68 for 4. That brings Tariq Sarfraz onto strike. There's no grill. Here's Gawas. That's a nice shot. But straight to the short mid-wicket fielder. I can't see from this distance whether or not he's got the little Perspex ear protectors on that helmet like they used to. I don't think so. Is the call from the shake of the head next to me as the next delivery again driven nicely and well and timed, but timed into the ground and straight to the short mid-wicket fielder Javid Jan again. So Gawas is doing another excellent job for his skipper. 2 for 9 he is. This will be the final ball of his third over. Oh, and he's taken on the pad. Big shout. He had a big stride forward, so perhaps that made the umpire's mind up for him. And the end of the over, another terrific over from Gawas. 3 overs now, 2 for 9. And FPC 68 for 4. They need 40 to win off 36 balls. So Jalil Ahmed is going to continue his second over. First one went for 6. Wasim Qureshi, the man on strike, 34 off 41 he is. The first one is short and bounces high, and that's clubbed into the offside. There's a chase for the long off fielder and the guy who's on the cover boundary, converging on it at the same time. That means an easy 2 for FPC. Takes them now into the 70s, 70 for 4. So still no great alarm bells. 38 needed off 35. But add a couple more wickets to that total, things could get interesting. Again, looking for the offside, waiting on it, and cutting it to deep extra cover. But a good throw, prevents a second. And Sarfraz back on strike. He clips that off his toes nicely. Chase for the fielder on the deep mid-wicket boundary. Still not got ball in hand, but the batsman is sent back. Looking for a second. But no need to take any risks necessarily at the moment, as Wasim Qureshi looks to be blowing a bit. He's calling for a drink, I think. This one is giving a bit more air, and he's caught him. That was a terrific catch. He really did get hold of that, I thought, the batsman, and it flew to Javid Jan at short mid-wicket, who picked it up just above his ankles. It's a great catch. And that is the end of Wasim Qureshi for 37. A good knock, of 43 deliveries, but it is now the FPC's 5th wicket down. As I said, 1 or 2 more to the total might make things interesting. 72 for 5. They're still on course in terms of required run rates, but it is creeping up towards 7 now. So it's not over yet. 108 the target. Remember, 72 for 5. We're in the 15th. The new batsman is Sadakat. It was a great catch, has to be said. Really neat piece of fielding. Quick reactions. He seemed to clip it and time it off his legs nicely, did Qureshi. But it was well snaffled. 37 off 44, Qureshi. Then he's done a job. He's set a platform for his side. They've just got to finish it off now. As Jalil Ahmed continues. That one's given some air. A little wristy flick into the offside. They come through for a single. If this goes to the bowler's end and it's a good throw, which it isn't, then the new batsman would have been struggling, and he remonstrates with his partner, Safraz. But I think Safraz is hungry for the strike here. He's on 2. Short ball, and he hits that into his pads. So it takes all the momentum off it, and there's no run. End of the over, the 15th. And 73 for 5. 2 new batsmen, though, at the crease. Which, while Qureshi was always there, you felt things were ticking along nicely. But, of course, losing wickets and putting two new batsmen at the crease can slow things down a bit. And you don't want to lose too much momentum at a late stage like this in the innings. Looks like we're going to have a change of bowling here. It looks like Irfan is this. Who bowled the 16th. So Irfan Yusufzai is the new bowler, 59 on his back. Five overs remaining. 108 the target, 73 for 5. And we're about to resume. That's a nice shot. I'll only give them 1 though. But doing it in 1s and 2s is easily possible from here. Reverse shot there. He changed the grip, the right-handed batsman. Peterson style. It didn't quite come off. And when it doesn't, it always looks a little uglier than normal. Ooh, he's beaten. It's a good delivery. It's not a bad start this then from Sadakat. From Yusufzai, sorry. Sadakat is the man on strike. He's 2 from 3. This one he just waits on. And just squeezes out to the offside for yet another single. That's all it needs at the moment. 76 for 5, 32 runs now needed of 26 balls. And that is not one of them. Ooh, Safraz waits on that and he's caught behind. He waited on it, had a big heave at it off the back foot, and he must have tickled it through to the keeper. So another one goes. 76 for 6 now. And Safraz departs with his grillless helmet. And this is interesting now. 16 overs gone. 76 for 6. 32 now needed off 24. Still fine statistically. But a bit of a wobble with the wickets falling now, as we believe to be Akib Qureshi coming out. Finally, we think the correct Qureshi with number 9 on his back. And Jalil Ahmed will continue into his 3rd over now. Yousafzai picking up that wicket at the end of the previous over, so his figure's 1 for 3. 1 for 11 Ahmed, the current bowler, is going for after 2 overs. So, bit of air. This one is hit on the full, over the head of the inner ring on the offside. It's only going to be a single. The batsman, well, the original non-striker, wants a second, but he's sent back, Akib Qureshi. He's yet to face. He will now, though. 77 for 6, 31 to win off 23. Big swing. He's middled this, but it's gone towards the deep backward square leg fielder, almost down his throat, really. So it's only a single. Still, that is fine, but the odd boundary will help these singles feel a little bit more comfortable, you feel. This has gone miles up in the air. It's like a golf chip onto the green. This should be caught, and is. Well taken by Mohammed Hassan in the covers, and another FPC batsman falls. So they are stuttering here towards the end. 78 for 6. And this could be interesting now, because the required run rate is up at 8.5 now, which still in a T20 match isn't outrageous. But it's this flurry of wickets and flurry of new batsmen that are making life difficult for the FPC. Sadakat was the man out for 4, having faced 6 deliveries. And the new batsman now will be Khan, Adil Khan, although he won't be facing because it was the end of the over. Oh no, it's not the end of the over. It was they crossed, of course, yeah. So there we go. Adil Khan won't face, but Akib Qureshi will. And he digs this one out, almost a caught and bowled chance. Non-striker's sent back. So another dot ball, and you feel just a little bit of panic now among the batsmen out there. And if Gymkhana pull this off after the start they had, it will be a remarkable victory. But they're not there yet. Full toss. Pulled into the onside off one knee by the batsman. They've got to push for 2 here, and they should get there easily. They do. It's a good throw in the end. An appeal for the keeper. But he looked to be comfortably home. So a welcome 2 takes FPC on to 80 for 7, coming towards the end of the 17th over. That run rate close to 9 now required. 28 off 19 balls. It's going to be a tight finish. 3 wickets left for FPC, 80 for 7. Beaten, attempted cut, bounce on the ball, taken by the keeper, no run. 17 overs gone, 80 for 7, 108 the target, 28 runs needed off the last 3 overs. And having gone along comfortably, FPC have stuttered a little bit as this has gone on, and now I would say it's anybody's game. Okay, so we're getting towards the business end then of this FPC reply. And the man who's exerted a big influence on this match, Mohamed Gawas, is going to bowl his final over, the 18th. 3 overs, 2 for 9, after posting a 36 off 32 balls in the first innings, which dragged his side out of the mire. Gawas, if he sees this off, will be man of the match, no doubt, as he comes in and he bowls a length ball, which is a big swing up from the batsman. It goes straight to the short mid-wicket fielder, who shies at the stumps. He takes the stumps, the ball ricochets past it, and they do pick up a single that should never have been allowed in the first place. So a welcome bonus at the start of the 18th for FPC. 81 for 7, 27 required from 17. Here's Gawas. Short ball keeps low, well watched and well chopped into the offside. They should pick up 2 because there's a bit of football played by the fielder in the offside. They looked for the second, but they quickly changed their mind. Possibly wise, although a little bit more turn. That could have easily been 2, really, as Gawas is in again. That one the batsman waits on. He just prods it up to mid-on. Are they going to risk a second? Yes, they're coming back for it, but there's a fumble, so it's going to be a comfortable 2. And of course, the pressure works both ways. If the fielding side gets on top, if they get pushed in the field, then they can start making mistakes as well, like that, to allow a 1 to turn into a 2. This one is a bottom-handed drive, really, up to long off. And the skipper, Shahzad, keeps it to 1. Sort of a little chip shot, really. Qureshi on 4. He's the man facing Aqib Qureshi. He has a big swing. Oh, dropped, caught and bowled chance. He hit it hard, and Gawas could have finished it off, really, almost then, but he dropped it. Tough chance, but one you'd expect to be taken. Final ball of Gawas' spell. This has gone miles up in the air. There is a fielder underneath it, and he takes the catch comfortably, does Mohamed Hassan. The second catch he's taken of the evening. And another FPC batsman perishes. 85 for 8 now at the end of the 18th. And Khan, who's the man left, Qureshi, Aqib Qureshi goes for 4. And we now have Rais Ahmed coming in. That was the end of Mohamed Gawas' spell. 4 overs, 3 for 14. So with his 36 and 3 for 14, there are not many rivals for man of the match if that award were being given out tonight. His skipper would love him to have another one up his sleeve, but he has bowled out now, but he's done his job. 2 overs left. They're 85 for 8. They need 108. Having looked very comfortable for a long period in this reply, FPC, they're now needing 23 off 12, so it's pretty much now 2 runs a ball. And Khan is going to be the man facing Adil Khan. Correction, it is the new batsman. Rahiz Ahmed is the man facing a big swing, a rather uncultured swing. Jalil Ahmed is the bowler, and it's no run again. So the dot ball's piling up, as is the pressure now. It's over 2 runs a ball. This one he's got hold of, but has he found the fielder? He has. One bounce in front of him, and it's just a single. 22 needed from 9. Some boundary clearance needed now by Khan. He has a big swing. This has gone a long way, but it's going to interest the long off fielder who drops it. Long on. And fumbles the pickup as well. But they only take a single. Perhaps there should have been 2 taken then. Always run. Singles won't do it from now. 21 off 8. Another clip into the leg side. They've got to push for 2, surely. They do. Javid Jan is the man fielding well. Good throw back, but they do get 2 comfortably. 19 off 7. Final ball of the 19th. Big cross bat, straight drive, really. They're coming back for a second. They've got to, really. They've got to push it. They get 2 easily, but 17 will be needed from that final over. 91 for 8. .108 the target, 1 over to come. And let's see who's going to bowl it now. Because Gawas has bowled out. The captain Shazad has bowled out. Ati Rayman, the opening bowler, the other opening bowler, has bowled out. But I would imagine it'll probably be, it's going to be Javid Jan. So Javid Jan to bowl the final over then. And it's 17 needed of 6 balls. Unlikely target now for FPC, having been in the driving seat for a good lengthy period of this reply. Big swing. It's going up to long on though. It's only going to be 2 at the most. They're going to come back for the second. They have to. But that's not enough. They've got to clear the rope. 15 needed off 5. We'll change a bat between the batsmen. Adil Khan takes his partners. He obviously likes the sound of that one. He's got to make this count now. He's got to clear the rope. He's not going to with that. That's just dribbled out into the onside. It's an easy single, but singles are not enough. Now they're going to change bats again. 14 needed off 4. It would be a remarkable end if they did it. You wonder where they went wrong, really. They were on course for so long. It is a big swing, and you probably might have picked up in the effects a slight cry of despair from the batsman who realised he hadn't got enough on it to clear the rope, and we're now into improbability territory with 12 off 3, so it's got to be 3 straight boundaries. And that will not be one of them. It's a decent hit, and it's going to bring 1, but it's straight to the deep mid-wicket fielder. And I think that is that now. 11 required off 2. But once more the batsmen change bats. Seems rather academic at this stage, as Jan comes in for the penultimate ball. This has gone miles in the air. The keeper is underneath it, so it should be his. And he takes it. 9th wicket falls, and with it the hopes of FPC, who have stuttered really towards the end of this reply. 108 was the target. They got off to a terrific start and were well on course for a long period of time, but it just shows what a flurry of wickets, or consistent loss of wickets in the middle overs does if you don't keep on top of the rate. They were right up with the rate for, I would say, a good 60% of the reply. They just faltered at the end. 97 for 9. And it's 11 off the final ball. So unless we get a couple of no balls and some mighty free hit swipes, it's all over. So Jan is going to bowl the final ball to Rais Ahmed, who's 8. And it's a wide, so there's at least still some hope. Ten needed off 1 delivery. Appeal for LBW to end. It's missing, says the umpire, but no matter. That's the end of the FPC reply, and they fall 10 runs short of their target. So Gymkhana pull off what for a lot of this match seemed like a rather unlikely victory by 9 runs. And they'll be delighted, having lost their first one to SKK last week. They have, despite being 30 odd for 5 in their first innings, having won the toss and decided to bat, they clawed it back to post 107. And despite some early big hitting from FPC, they faltered towards the latter end of their reply and have fallen short. 98 all out they end after their 20 overs, which means it's a win for Helsinki Gymkhana.